and welcome back. I'm glad you're with me. We're going to learn more about letters and letter sounds. My name's Miss Bridget. I'm a teacher, and I'm here to teach you some things today. Do you remember what letter we're on now? Let's look. We were on G, and then we were on H, and now we're on I. That's right, we're on the letter I. Here's the letter I. This is the capital I and the lowercase I. And here's an insect. A ladybug is an insect. An insect starts with the letter I. I is the sound I, like for insect. And every letter has a sign language. The letter I, you make a fist with your hand and then just stick up your pinky finger. And that's the letter I. We're on the letter I. Have you thought of any animals that start with I? I is a tough one, and this is a tough animal. He is an indri. An indri is a lemur who lives in Madagascar, which is a little island. And his name is Ichabod. Ichabod and indri start with the letter I. And his cheer goes like this. Let's put up our finger for I. I, for Ichabod indri. Igloos, insects, iguanas. Imitate, that means to do something someone else is doing. And instruments, those are like musical instruments that you might play on. I, for Ichabod indri. And that's Ichabod's cheer. And all of those words in his cheer started with the letter I. Now, let's look in our book and find things that start with the letter I. Okay, I has two sounds. Several of our letters have two sounds, and we're only learning one sound, but there will be another sound for the letter I. I can say I, like we're learning. It can also say I, like its own letter. For instance, this is an ice cream cone. It starts with the sound of I also, but it's a different sound. Let's see what else is that. Ice skates, island. This flower is an iris, an iceberg, which is a big block of ice, and an iron that people can press clothes with. Now, the I sound that we're going to mostly concentrate on is the I sound, the I, for iguana, igloo, insect, and ink. Those all say I. Okay, let's close the book. Let's see if you can remember something that starts with an I. I'm going to write words that have the I sound, not the I sound. See if you can think of some I sound words that were in our book. What's that little thing that crawls on the ground? It's another name for bug. Insect. Oh, what are we writing it on? We're writing it on an ice cream cone. Ice cream is the long I sound. Ice cream. We're doing the short I sound, which is I. That's kind of tricky, but we're going to do it. Okay, we're going to put insect on the ice cream cone. Insect starts with I, insect. What else was in the book? Let me think. What's that lizard type creature called? Right, an iguana. We're going to write iguana because the iguana starts with an I. So we have insect and iguana. What else? Do you know that home that maybe people lived in when it was really cold and it was made of ice? Igloo, right. Igloo starts with an I. We're going to put igloo in here. Let's think of one more thing. What is it that comes out of a pen that you draw with? Ink. We're going to put ink on our ice cream. Ink starts with I. So now we have some I sounding words that start with I. Also, let's do our rainbow writing. This is the capital I and this is the lowercase I. The capital I is a straight line down with a top and a bottom. The lowercase is just a straight line with a dot on it. Let's try it. Let's see, I'm going to use light green to start with. This is a lighter green. I'm going to start at the red dot. Remember, you can do this along with me if you would like, on either a notebook or a piece of paper. We're going to start at the dot, and we almost always make the line down to start with. We're going to go down on our line, and then we're going to cross it at the top and cross it at the bottom. This is called tracing. The next one, we start at the red dot, and we just make a little line down, and we put a dot on the top. That's the little I. So now I'm going to do a darker green. We're going to start at the dot and go down and across and across. Ooh, I did the bottom first. It doesn't really matter. Just do the first line down first, then the top and the bottom, or you can put the bottom and then the top. It doesn't really matter. And then the second one, we're going to start at the dot and make a straight line down and put a dot on top. So I've done 2 colors. Remember, we usually do 3. You can do more than 3. We just do 3 as the very least. That means the littlest number we do is 3. And this color is pink. Let's start at the dot and make a straight line down. Remember, you don't have to stay on the line. This is just showing you how to draw the letter. And let's say the letter and the letter sound when we do it. We made the line down. I, 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 yeah. There we go. Now let's turn our page over. Remember, on the rainbow writing, we draw something on the back that starts with an I. What can we think that starts with the letter I? Well, I think what I'm going to draw a piece of paper. Here's my piece of paper. It's like a big rectangle. And I'm going to draw lines across it like I'm writing a letter. I'm writing a letter to someone, and what's coming out of the pen is ink. I drew some ink. You could draw anything you want that starts with an I. Maybe you'd rather draw an ice cream cone. Maybe you'd rather draw an igloo or an iguana. Anything you want. I'm going to draw the word ink. It starts with an I. You can have a grown-up write the word next to whatever picture you drew that started with the letter I. And that's our rainbow writing. We did it for the letter I. So next, remember what we do? I've read all kinds of books about indri to my preschoolers, and they put a book together called Children on Safari. Because you would find an indri on safari, but you'd have to go to Madagascar to see them. But my preschoolers had lots of interesting things to say about indri, and we'd like to share some of those interesting facts with you. So let's look at what they said, and I'll tell you who said them. Landon said, indri live in the rainforest of Madagascar. Tate said they are a kind of lemur. They have fur and they have little tails. Joel said they're really loud and you can't see them very easily. They hide. They're very shy creatures. Gabby said they eat fruit and leaves. Kate said they have only one baby at a time and they have a baby every 2 or 3 years. Alex said they're diurnal. That means they're awake during the day. Ella said they live in groups in the rainforest. Gianna said they jump around in the trees. Cole said they have big eyes and they can hang upside down. Lexi said they have really huge ears to help them hear. And Campbell said they have long arms and long legs and strong arms. They can climb really well with their arms. That's some interesting things about indri. And what's also interesting is to see a picture of them. Here they are, they're living in their habitat. That's their home. Their habitat is where they live, and they live up in the trees. That way they stay extra safe. And they're very quiet animals. You usually can't find them unless you're really looking hard, and you'd have to go to the rainforest of Madagascar to see them. have big eyes, don't they? And big ears, long legs and arms. So that is an indri. Now, I went around the house and found things that started with the letter I. You can do this after the video's over. You can go around your classroom or go around your house or wherever you happen to be and look for things that start with the letter I. Let's see what I have in my bag and see if you can figure it out. Some of these are going to have the I sound and some will have the I sound. Mostly I pick things with the I sound, so since that's what we're focusing on today. But this has the I sound. It's icing. Another name for frosting. This donut has icing on it. One more thing I have for the letter I, ice cream. Ice cream has the I sound in it. Now we're going to switch to the I sound of I, like Ichabod, indri. This is an insect. It's a beetle. Beetles are insects. Insect starts with the letter I. This is an iguana. Iguana starts with an I too. Iguana. It's a type of lizard. Inside this pen, there's black ink. And when you draw, the ink comes out. Ink starts with I. And I have one more thing. This is called a ruler. It doesn't start with the letter I, but what rulers have on it is they have inches. And this ruler has 12 of them, but this is 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch. Those are inches. An inch starts with I, inch. You can hear the I sound. So those are some things that start with the letter I. Before you go, let's do the cheer one more time. This is the indri, whose name is Ichabod. And remember, let's do the sign language. You make a fist and put up your pinky finger. And his cheer goes, I for Ichabod, indri. Igloos, insects, iguanas. Imitate and instruments. I for Ichabod, indri. When you come next time, we'll be on the next letter. Do you know what that letter is? Let's look and see. We were on I, and after I comes J. J says J, J. Can you think of an animal that starts with that sound, J? There's a few of them, but there's only one we're going to learn about next time. See if you can think about what that animal might be before we meet again. I love sharing all of the things that we know about the letter I with you, and I'm excited for next time when we do the letter J. Until then, we'll see you later. Bye.